Hi, this is Sam Lagana with the Los Angeles Rams. Whose house? You're listening to the Los Angeles Rams UK podcast. Undenied worldwide. The Los Angeles Rams. It doesn't get any better than this. Let's go Rams!
Good evening, welcome to another edition of the LA Rams UK podcast, episode 115. Forget the Saints, the Rams are coming. I'm John, and joined with me tonight is Andy and Chris. How you doing, guys?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, not bad. How are you, Chris?
Yeah, really good, really good. Good to be back.
Excellent, great to have you back, getting the band back together here. Yep. So, how are you guys feeling about the season so far?
Pretty positive at the moment. One or two issues, which I'm sure we'll go into, but on the whole, at the start of the season, if you said we'd be where we are at the moment, I'd be happy with where we are.
I think I agree. If you'd have said that we'd be in this position at the start, I was a little bit worried. Were we obviously going to be on a hangover from previous years? But I think they seem to be going in the right direction. And like Andy says, there's obviously stuff that there's only going to be working on, but definitely positives to be seen and only can go in one direction. Fingers crossed.
Yep. It's definitely been 5-2. Great start for us, and it's got people the last kind of couple of weeks looking at us and thinking, could we be dark horses here? But I know there's a lot of guys that are like, but look at our schedule, like we've had a relatively easy run up to this point, and we've got quite a few hard games coming up, but never say never with the Rams. And I mean, you look at the Colts, that people are going on as if they're like absolute world beaters right now, when they're having a good season, arguably, like, but I don't believe that they're as good as people are making them out to be. So I guess it's one of those ones, the record only speaks so much for what the team's actually like. Would you not say, guys?
Yeah, very much so, I think it's just one of them at the moment where we're doing what we need to do. And apart from a couple of unfortunate incidents with the team, let's be honest, realistically, we could be unbeaten at the moment if it wasn't for a couple of stupid mistakes and dodgy calls that are, as usual, going against us.
Yep, and on one of those mistakes,
and some missed kicks.
We'll be coming to that for a wee bit more in-depth chat later on. But first and foremost, let's talk Week 9. So the Rams took on the Aints, and we absolutely trounced them 34-10. Chris, initial thoughts on the game?
Well, previous listeners will probably remember when I was on the pod previously, my brother-in-law is very much a Saints fan, and he was actually in the Super the week before. So to do what we did against them and absolutely annihilate them, in my opinion, they were on par with being as bad as the Jags, in my opinion. From what I saw, we dominated from what I could see from where I was watching. I think it didn't seem like we were in any kind of issue throughout the game. I think we could have probably scored more if we wanted to. It felt like, especially like it did when we were obviously sat in London watching against the Jags, I don't think we really got out of third gear, which is nice to say, to the fact that we, like you said before, we've got some big games coming up, to know that we can put those sort of points on the board. Yeah, against one of the poorer teams in the league at the present moment in time, but we've still got gears to go through, in my opinion.
Andy, what's your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, it was just in the end, a very nice, comfortable win. We've come out without any major real injuries, which is good. But at the start, before the game started, I had a horrible feeling this was going to be one of them trap games like the Jets a few years ago. So the fact we actually came in and just took care of business and just got on with it was nice to see. And as Chris said, we were basically just in cruise control and just going through it. And it does look like the team has got extra gears to step up if we need to, which is what we're going to have to do over the next weeks with some of the teams we are now going to play. We've hit the easy part of the schedule. Now it's time to, knuckle down and dig in hard and get through these next few weeks.
Yeah, I think a lot of the Rams fans out there have got PTSD from that Jets game in 2020, because every time we come up against a team in a position like the Saints, it's the first thing we all revert to. we should win this game, but this is going to be the Jets game all over again. It's just an expectation.
I think as well, coming off the bye, you kind of felt like sometimes the bye can be a blessing in disguise, and sometimes it can actually be the complete opposite, and the team loses its momentum and slows down a little bit. So that was another thing that kind of worried me. Was we've had a week off, we've come back from London. Is the team going to be, ready to go, or is it going to look sluggish and sloppy to start off with, like sometimes we have done in the past coming off our bye weeks?
Yeah,
I think for me though, with having the bye week the way that we did, and obviously some of the injuries that were picked up, I think it did us a favour.
Yeah, this time
Massively.
it did do us a favour. Yeah.
Yeah, I think like you're saying, Andy, like the bye week can go. There's been seasons where the bye weeks came at the right time for us, and then there's seasons where it comes at the wrong time. And I think after how well we played in London, I was worried that this came at the wrong time, because that performance, we want to carry that into the next game and then the game after that, and that break was for me. Yeah, I agree. Like I was kind of worried that we were going to come out and not go out of third gear in the wrong way as opposed to the right way, is what we saw on Sunday. But that's the last two games that the Rams have went out and not had to, not saying not play their best, they've obviously played to their best abilities to win the game, but there is that further level that they could really kick it up to. If you look at the last two games, like especially with Adams, a hat trick in London and then two again at the weekend there.
I think what I like as well is that the ball's being passed around quite a bit as well. So you are seeing different people scoring. And I don't know if that is... It could be because we're just going through the playbook and obviously having the opportunity to do so. Or is it McVay looking at people that he can actually trust as we now go into the bigger games?
Yeah, I think some of that as well is obviously with us having Nakua out during the London game, McVay has had to look into his playbook and go, right, okay, I've not got the number one target, and Stafford's go-to guy. Right, what else can I do? And I think, as daft as it sounds, I think Nakua missing the week in London may have actually helped the team long run, because it's made them realise there's lots of other players on that team who can make plays. So if they're going to double up Nakua, well, that's fine. Adams is wide open, or Higby, or whoever. If you're going to double Adams, well, that's great. Nakua's wide open, and he's going to easily do the job. So his injury was probably, as I say, was probably a blessing in disguise for that week to allow McVay to look at his playbook and open things up a little bit more.
It's quite nice to have more than one tight end for a while. We haven't had that for a long time.
No, it's nice as well to see him using a lot more 13 personnel as well, which is really nice to see, and getting these guys involved and, keeping teams on the toes as well a little bit more. And to be honest, I'm expecting now, as more and more of the season goes on, there's going to be plays in McVay's playbook that he's not used early in the season, because he is saving those sorts of plays for later in the season and, into the playoffs, ideally, where we can still stump teams out as well.
Yeah, I think one good point you guys are highlighting there is the depth on offense. People are talking so much about how good the defense is performing that I do feel that a lot of the offense has been overlooked. And I think when you're saying there about like people double teaming Nakua and then people double teaming Adams because Nakua's out, well, you can't double team both of them at the same time. So it gives us, like you said, the ball's been spread about enough that we are showing that we've got enough threats and we've got enough guys who can make different kinds of plays out there in the offense, that as the season goes on, like if McVay is holding on to these plays like you guys are suggesting, and let's be honest, he probably is, they really can start picking defenses apart with guys that you're not expecting them to.
Yeah, exactly. Even if, teams come out, quarters coverage and basically, right, we'll have two players, corner and safety on Nakua, corner and safety on Adams, which some teams will do, and leave the linebackers with, running backs and tight ends. It's nice and easy. The likes of Higby and from what we've seen of Ferguson and obviously Karen can keep the ball moving for us that way as well. So as you said, it's nice to see the ball being spread and everybody getting a bit of love as well. And obviously, we've missed Atwell this week, so hopefully he'll be back soon. So that's another option for the team as well, which when McVay has called his number, he's been pretty solid on those occasions.
Just on the running game there, like Williams was 25 for 114 yards. Like but in years gone by, we're like, oh, we're not really trusting the run game. Like we seem to be getting quite balanced, if you would agree, on the offense. Like, yeah, the majority of touchdowns are coming in the air, but at the same time, we're still getting decent yardage. I mean, Corum, he got 13 for 58 yards, but a lot of his yards he did picked up were yards we needed.
Yeah, definitely. And to have that 1-2 punches was obviously what they described it as. It is definitely giving us other options, and it all then links in. Obviously, the running game links in then with obviously the passing game. It's just keeping the opposition on their toes at every sort of opportunity. And when you've got class in Matthew Stafford, they just, I mean, when we actually see what we've got here with him in the probably some of the form of his life at the present moment in time, it's just it looks so easy for him at the minute because he, like we said on numerous occasions now, he has got so many options. So he's probably got 4 reads at any one time at the present moment in time because of that's what's in front of him.
Just on Stafford there, let's bring on to him. You say there, Chris, that he's looking to form his life. Could this be a potential MVP season for him?
Don't see why not.
I don't see why not either. I'd seen a great one that someone actually put up Kurt Warner's stats from when he was named MVP for the Rams, and Stafford's current stats are not that much different from Warner's. To make a comparison, I think the kind of issue I've got is that the people are going to their usual, Josh Allen.
Yeah.
People try to say Mahomes as well. And
no, he's having a shocker, and they are having a shocker. But he's not a, how do we describe it? He's not a Hollywood quarterback, even though obviously we're in LA, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And there's obviously other people that are a bigger focus, which in one way I quite like, because going under the radar sometimes does you a world of good. But I think if you speak and listen to the right people, they can see what he does. And what he's actually doing with the tools that he got. Look what he's done when he's had the tools previously. We won the Super Bowl.
That's it, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Once he's got the tools in front of him and he's got the opportunities to be able to move that ball, it comes to him nice and simple.
It just seems so effortless at times. As I said when I done,
and he's even trying to block now as well, which is crazy.
He said, I think it was he said, I'm getting too old for this shit, to one of the referees immediately after that, and he's like, I'm not doing that again.
It's hilarious.
No, exactly.
I mean, 37 years old, and the guy plays like he's like a good 10 years younger than that. Like, it does make it so effortless at times. You see his no looks, which are absolute criminal at times, like that. Like, people going about the push being banned. I don't know why no one's wanting Stafford's no looks banned, because they're Hollywood's passes. You know, they're amazing to watch, and everybody does talk about them. But like,
I think if we keep doing what we're doing, and if the record does what it needs to do, and we keep getting the W's on the board, the conversation has to be had more seriously, doesn't it?
Yeah,
it's got to, because it may be going a little bit unnoticed. It does seem like sometimes that the NFC West does seem to be that one of the hardest divisions in the conference, but actually seems like sometimes it's a forgotten one. But actually, we're coming to the point of the season now where actually people start going, hold on a minute, there's quite a few over there that are actually going to start causing us issues.
Yeah, exactly. You know, we've potentially at the moment, the way it stands, have 3 teams come from our division in the playoffs at the moment. You know,
do you know that, as you're saying there, Chris, we are often looked, and Andy makes a very good point there. The NFC West typically provides up to 3 teams in the playoffs. Nearly most seasons, I would say, not every season, but most seasons, you're getting 2 or maybe 3 of us. Whereas other divisions, we've had where the divisional champion has got like a 500 record.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's where people have the discussion about the way the playoffs are kind of like set who plays who. That it's not fair. The divisional teams aren't like put as number like 7 if they've got a terrible record against teams that are like, you know, like I've got like they're in double figures, but they've got they're 7th, whereas a team that because they won the division is 4th.
Yeah, well, we had that last year with us and the Vikings, didn't we? The Vikings were kicking off because of they were what, 15-2 or whatever it was, and they had to play an away game. You know, there was a lot of talk of that one. So, you know.
But I guess as long as we keep the W's going, like Chris says, the conversation about Matthew Stafford being a potential MVP candidate will definitely have to.
If he keeps this production up like he's doing now, and he keeps himself below double-digit turnovers, and keeps banging 2 or 3 touchdowns a game and what have you, yeah, he's going to be up there as one of the. I have seen 1 or 2 analysts saying, I watch a podcast with Shannon Sharp and Chad Johnson, and they were saying, yeah, Stafford at the moment is up there as top 3 for MVP. So, the fact that, guys who've played the game or even, at a high level are looking at him and saying, this guy is playing to that sort of level is good to see.
Yep. Flipping over to the defence, how do you think the defence performed? Obviously 10 points allowed. Chris, how do you think the defence is handling up here?
I think it's exactly, in some ways, exactly the same as what's happening on the other side of the ball. They're just doing their job. And they're excelling massively. We'll obviously come on to Mr. Lakeman and his fists later on in a good way. But when you just look at what they're actually doing and the cover, what I seem to like, and I don't know if it's in relation to the defensive coordinator or not, but the coverage just seems to be so much more tight. There's none of this sort of soft coverage, which was always used to be the way with the Rams previously. And even when we had people like Ramsey on that side of the ball, leaving a soft coverage was actually wide open up to the first down marker, which now they seem to be attacking that ball on every play, which is what you need to, in my opinion, what you need to do to actually stop, get 3 and out, and let's move the ball back to the other side. It just feels like the aggression has come back, and they just all seem like they're all fighting for the same cause.
Yeah. Andy, how do you feel the defence is performing recently?
A lot better than it was earlier in the season. Just the first few games, the secondary was very, very suspect, and you were kind of like, oh, here we go again. That's going to be our downfall. But it seems to have, over the last few weeks, settled itself down to, I'm not saying it's a top 5 secondary or anything, but they seem to be sort of, 20th to 16th, sort of that middle pack of a secondary. But obviously, up front has just been, the front 4 has been absolutely dominant, time and time again. Things feel like they're getting better each week. Every week that the team's playing, the defense is playing, they seem to just be getting better and better and better. That's what we want, is just for that to happen. Yeah, all right, we haven't got the sack statistics that some people are saying, Verse is not, rolling as we all thought he would. But it's nice to see, Verse isn't doing it, but Byron Young on the opposite side has stepped up onto his plate and gone, right, okay, you're double teaming Verse. Well, thanks, guys, you've left me 1-on-1, and I'm going to, beat you. And, it's good to see that stepping up again. Verse is getting kind of like the Aaron Donald effect, where teams are double teaming him, triple teaming him at times. So it is allowing other players to get free.
I've seen a quote actually coming from Verse. Sorry, I've seen a quote come from Verse today that AD is on him. He's actually in touch with him near enough, giving him tips, telling him what to do, sending him clips. I love that.
Yeah, I love
that. He's like a coach that isn't paid.
I love that with that relationship, that it's amazing that Aaron Donald's the type of guy, he would mentor someone and obviously see something in Verse. But in that relationship, I love the fact that Verse is actually terrified of him. After all of that workout they had,
that workout,
no, I'm never doing that again. No way. Like that man lives in fear of Aaron Donald now.
Yeah, but
so should everybody.
Yeah,
it's nice as well to see we actually have some competent linebackers as well in the middle with Landman and even Omar Spates, which are massively helping the run defense, because that was always our biggest issue, was teams would just run on us all day long. And those 2 guys seem to have solidified the middle and helped with the run game a lot better. So, it's nice to see that as well, that aspect. And, hopefully we'll come to, I'm sure, to discuss them in a minute. We'll be getting a contract extension with us, come the end of the season. And
let's jump straight on to the one-punch man himself, Nate Landman. Just how good an addition has this man been to our defence?
Oh, he's been a massive addition. Just apart from the one punches which we all love, it's just the fact he's so good at guiding the defense. As the guy with the green dot of getting everybody set, and you can see him week in week out helping the likes of Spates. And even when Spates wasn't in there, unfortunately, we did see some Troy Reader, but then we also saw Dolak come in, and he's helping those guys out as well. But he's just he's got to be one of those guys. I know the Rams we don't do linebackers, but he is one player I feel he's kind of the Zach Bourne of last year. Where Zach Bourne came into the Eagles as a quick veteran minimum contract and played out of his mind. That late Lamb is this year that guy, and I think we do. I'd be surprised and annoyed come the end of the season if he's not getting his pay by us.
I don't see why he wouldn't be because of what he's actually doing. And if you're in the situation he is with obviously potentially a contract on the table, he's doing exactly what he should do.
Yeah, exactly.
Here I am. This is what I can do, and you'd be silly not to. And I think that's where he's obviously looking at it. But we will obviously come on to the following game that we've obviously got coming up. These boys now have obviously got to earn their keep big time because the running game is probably one of the things that we've got to go up against big time next week. So we've obviously said that the games coming up are going to be tough going forward. This is where they obviously see now that if that running, stopping that run is where they can do it.
Yeah, no, exactly. And just carrying on with the defense. One player I think I want to highlight, as much as he only got he got the pick this week, I thought Forbes played a lot better this week than he has done previously. He was always kind of that weak link for me in the defense. But this week, it wasn't just the interception. He was physical. He was getting, even if guys were beating him, he was straight to the tackle straight away. And that was nice to see. Whereas in the past, I think because he is a slender guy, he's always been very reluctant to get his head in for a tackle. But this week, he was really fighting, and that was really good to see as well. Whether us signing McCreary has put a fire up his backside to basically, if I don't play well, I'm potentially going to the bench. If that's the case, then I hope he can continue with that as well, because it was nice to see.
Yep, definitely. I mean, as a whole, I think we have 115, 117 points across all our games. They've allowed the second least amount of points. So, and like you said, guys, that in the linebacking core was like Spates, Landman there, and Dolak, who I'm surprised hasn't been cut yet. After dressing up as Sean McVay for Halloween, as soon as I saw that video, I thought that guy's getting cut. Do not make fun of McVay. Christ, man. I think I said in Discord, I'm waiting for the Rams admin to post. We've come to terms with the release of Dolak.
And it was very, very good as well.
It was good. It was really good.
Really good.
He had the mannerisms and everything down to a T. It was actually brilliant. I was like, oh, man. As you're saying there, like we normally don't do linebackers, and we seem to be building a good core there. They will be tested obviously in the next few weeks, but there were like say Landman in there. Like he's like you said, guys, he's basically stepping up and going, well, this is what I can do, and quite rightly at the end of the season he's going to be like, well, pay me, and I'm here, I'm your man. And I think a lot of us would agree that, well, the man deserves to be paid.
He does, but like I say, my worry is Snead.
Aye, yeah, let's undercut him, and then go, nah, I'm gone, and then he goes to fucking the Eagles or something like that, because everybody will go to the Eagles right now.
Yeah, that's my problem. We've had linebackers in the past, and we've just gone, good linebackers, and we've just gone, nah, we're not paying you. Off you go to free agency. Bye bye. We don't need you. And the team has suffered because of that over the years because they don't want to pay. But this is hopefully that time now as Snead may look and go, actually, maybe a bit of pressure if obviously Chris Schuler stays as a defensive coordinator, and he might put pressure on him to say, look, sign my guys, please. I don't want to lose them.
Yeah, I think another thing to be mindful of is in the next couple of years, we'll have to start paying some of our rookies as well as their deals come up. So, the likes of Snead will be thinking ahead, like, well, is this guy going to be long term with us? And like you said, he'll just go, nah, we'll just test the waters with free agency, and then he'll be quite happy to let him go because like Avia's rookie contract will be up, And then like you get into the likes Kobe Turner, Byron Young, and then you get into like Fisk, Verse, and Nakua as well. And Nakua's probably going to command something ridiculous if as long as the injuries don't start racking up and he goes down the route that Cup did, where he keeps getting these niggling injuries and it keeps holding him back enough. So it's one of the ones like we've got a good window of another good few years with these guys on their rookie deals, but it's one of those ones that you can't put it past the back office to be thinking, well, we're thinking ahead. We need to keep as much cap room as we can the next few years so that we can pay all these guys and keep them.
I suppose the one thing that would help with that is potentially what happens with Stafford over the next year or two, because obviously if he keeps playing, he's going to want big bucks. If he does retire, with potentially a rookie quarterback, which all of a sudden opens up a hell of a lot of your cap room, which allows you to have that space. Yeah, frightens me to death, but at some point it is unfortunately going to happen.
I think one of the things that frightens me to death is that our back office will be like, nah, we don't want to develop a rookie quarterback. We'll just trade for someone that's already there. And that's fine, as long as you can get someone that's of the caliber that Stafford is. But my worry is they trade for someone. I don't know why it popped in my head today, but like, oh God forbid we end up with someone like Dak Prescott at the Rams. Because thinking, let's take a punt on him. Like, we done it once with Stafford coming out of the Lions. Let's try with like Prescott, and I'm like, do you know what I mean? That's my only worry, is that they'll go, let's get someone who's already been developed, as opposed to, no, let's get a franchise quarterback in place.
The one name on that I always see popping up, it seems to be every beginning of the season, is Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
He's always been heavily linked, as McVay likes him, and McVay thinks he could work with him. So
I wasn't impressed with him in London. I know the Jags aren't great,
No.
but like when I watched them, I thought,
Nah.
I've previously said myself about Lawrence. I think a couple of years ago, I actually said I could see Lawrence being the next guy if we were going to trade for a quarterback. But seeing him actually physically in person, just nah.
No, unfortunately, I think that 1 year with Urban Meyer and then was completely broken and beyond repair. I think at this point, I don't even think McVay could save him.
There's one that he's already worked with that could potentially he could go back to.
Who's that?
Mayfield.
I can't see him leaving. What you call it?
Nah,
I don't think the Bucs are going to let him walk.
Yeah.
I'm just, do you know, it's someone who effectively could be the franchise quarterback, and he's been in the uniform previously. Just
yeah.
Out there.
Don't get me wrong. I would take Mayfield back.
Yeah, I would.
But I couldn't see him leaving Tampa now. Tampa have got their franchise quarterback. We've done them a favour, but it was just a position. Obviously, we were in at the time. We couldn't pay him to keep him, and he didn't want to be a number 2. He wanted to be a number 1, and
understandable.
Fair play him. And as I always say, and what was such a bad season, he was one of the shining lights, and he only played a couple of games for us.
Yeah,
I mean, people still talk about how he came in on a Thursday or whatever it is, the Thursday night or the Friday morning. Then 2 days later, he's leading a 98-yard drive to win a game. So, like, in that one drive, he did everything he needed to do to put himself in a short window for teams. So, fair play to him. And, like, he gets, like, I wish him the well, to be honest with you. But I couldn't see Tampa letting him go.
I wish him well, apart from week 12. I know.
Obviously. Yeah. Hope it goes down that week. So, unfortunately, from all the positives we've got in the offense and the defense side of it, we need to turn our eyes to special teams now.
We have to.
We have to, yes, because everyone's talking about the Rams special teams. Punting, absolutely fine. Ethan Evans absolutely blasting punts, averaging 50 yards a punt at the weekend there.
And he puts them into really good positions as well.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not just, he's really, we've definitely, found our Hecker replacement at long last.
Yeah.
And see, when I got into the stadium in London, he was warming up and actually seen like how he actually kicks that ball.
He's massive, isn't it?
Yeah. Jesus,
I'm honestly
man.
surprised he hasn't hit that screen yet. I really am. Some of his.
You reckon he's aiming?
Of course he is.
Yeah, but I am surprised at how high some of them go. That screen hasn't been smacked more than once.
But unfortunately, the problem with the kicking game is, well, some people are saying it's with Carty, some people are saying it's with the holder, some people are saying with the offensive line. whatever the reason is, it's all in them collectively because they play as a unit, and as a unit, they're unfortunately causing problems. Carty had one field goal attempt, he missed it. He had 5 extra point attempts, he missed one of them. What's going on with the special teams in the kicking game, guys?
Personally, I think it's the coaching's crap, if I'm being honest. Blackburn, when he was at the Panthers, what were they? 30th, I think, on special teams. And it's just not got any better. I do think some of the blame does have to be given with our blocking as well. And yeah, maybe a little bit to Carty, but I don't completely blame Carty. I'm not defending the guy, but I don't completely blame him 100%. Kicking is very much, it reminds me of a quarterback. If your quarterback has got a crap O-line and is getting battered left, right, and centre every 5 seconds, it can start, especially, young guys, it can start playing with the mind. Look at what's happened with the likes of CJ Stroud, Jaden Daniels this year. They're getting hit left, right, and centre. That they very much start getting spooked. The classic Sam Darnold seeing ghosts. And I think some of that is what's happened with Carty because he's not getting the protection and everything else. It's playing into his head. And I think that's why we saw, I think, was it Holden Cantor today put a post out showing the difference in time between.
Yeah, I was going to come on that. Yeah,
I think some of that, though, is because he's holding for a second. I'm wondering if that was something where they were trying to hold for a second so that if the defense jumped, they'd be back down before the kick went away. And unfortunately, the guy was allowed to come around the edge to block it. Because the rest of his kicks,
picked it up.
Yeah, the rest of his kicks weren't that slow. They were, it was just that one kick, and that's what I'm wondering. It's just a stupid idea, maybe, of Chase Blackburn going, well, if we just hold for a second, they'll have all jumped. They can't stay up. They'll come back down, and then you kick the ball. But then that's giving the guy on the edge, half a lifetime to get around the edge and block it that way or get in the way.
No, I'm by no means a football coach, but I don't get why in a kicking game where the whole idea is to kick the ball as quick as you can, you'd want to risk holding it for that even fraction of a second when if one guy breaks his blocker, as you saw at the weekend there with the kick you're talking about, Andy, it's a blocked field goal or a blocked attempt.
Yeah, I
don't understand why a coach would want to take that risk.
I've seen kickers in the past do that, where they will hold for a second if they're against teams that are known to jump the line and try and get over. They'll hold for a second or half a second to get them up and down, so then they've got the free thing, to kick it away. So it's, but obviously you're expecting your edges to hold up and stop the guy from getting around, which unfortunately our guys didn't. But like I say, predominantly for me, it's the coaching, and I do feel, and I've said this even last year, the guy, I don't trust Chase Blackburn. I really just don't trust him. I mean, we've never been great, but for a long time. But this year and the last year, it's really deteriorated.
Well, here's the thing. Last year, Carty wasn't actually that bad.
No, but you did see some breaks, even with the pass protection. Well, not the pass protection, the kicking protection, and everything else. But it just seems to, like I say, I think his confidence at the moment is just shot because, much like I said, a quarterback getting hit every 30 seconds. He's panicking, he's rushing, he's not thinking of himself. And if we could get maybe that side, I'm not going to say he's washed. I think it can still be salvaged. Look at how many kickers have come, had a bad year with a team, been cut, gone somewhere else. And then, Matt Gay is a classic example, was cut because he missed so many kicks because of problems, came to us and was solid for a few years. But like I say, I think the coaching McVeigh has just got to personally cut the guy at the end of the year and just say, sorry, mate, this ain't working. Whether you're friends or not with him, goodbye. Let's get somebody else in and let's try and get this sorted out.
Well, McVeigh did say in his press conference after the game that it was on him.
Yeah.
And he basically, the words he's using was that he wasn't blaming anyone, and I think he meant not blaming anyone out there in the field. This is on me. This is on me because I've got this guy coaching him that's coaching my way that I now don't agree with.
Yeah,
to the point that you've got like Nakua in games going, we're not fucking kicking field goals. We're not doing this. Like you've got other guys in the team going, no, we want to keep the kicking team off the field. by all means. And if it means it's a turnover on downs, it's a turnover on downs.
Yeah, I was going to say, I wonder if some of all that as well, the noise in the background is kind of affecting his confidence and,
Yeah.
Affecting his confidence, but and I appreciate, obviously, it's a confidence game, isn't it? But some of his kicks have been poor.
Oh, yeah, that they have been. I'm arguing that. Yeah.
The holding is the holding. Obviously, the line needs to do what it's doing. There's been a lot of press to the fact that we've obviously signed a kicker to the practice squad, who could potentially play in the O line from what I've seen.
Yeah.
But it needs to be dealt with because we've lost games because of it.
Yeah.
And when you come to the business end of the season, games will get won and lost based on a field goal. And
absolutely, yeah.
If McVeigh, it's not about the coach that's actually coaching those guys, but if McVeigh can't trust in a 2-minute drill to actually take them down there to actually then kick it, he's then going to be making potentially the wrong decision because he's then going to be looking at a long third, or he's going to be taking everything at fourth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you've got that. Yeah, you definitely have got that risk that it leaves us open to making mistakes, and you get picks, turnover on downs. And then, like you said, as the season gets on, it's those points, those 3 points you could get out of that field goal. It could be the difference.
Well, like you said before, we could be unbeaten.
Well, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, we really should have won that Eagles game.
Falcons game a couple of weeks ago, their kicker missed the extra point, and that was what cost them the game, was that they missed the extra point. So even that 1 point can make a difference at times in a game. But like I say, I don't 100. His missed field goal, I think, was just the laces were facing him, and it's difficult to kick a ball when the laces are facing you. So I'm not, that was the whole operation, not just him. But, I do think, as I said, some of the blame's got to be with Carty. He needs to get his confidence back or block the noise or do whatever he has to do.
Yeah.
But the whole operation, the whole special teams operation needs to be sorted out. And I think the only way long term is, unfortunately, cut the coordinator and get somebody new in and try and get this thing sorted out once and for all. And who knows, maybe signing this kicker to the practice squad might let a bit of fire up McCarthy's arse again, much like I said about Forbes, where there's competition brought in. Now I've got to step up my game. Maybe that might just make Carty step up his game and go, well, if I miss another one, I'm potentially out of here. I've got to, get this thing sorted out.
Yeah, well, that's it. Like, so yesterday, obviously, we had tryouts. Now, I've only found out today that Blankenship was also invited out to try it. So Harrison Mavis, who ultimately was signed to the practice squad, as you're saying, tried out alongside Rodrigo Blankenship for another spot as a kicker to obviously provide competition for us. And Mavis, who's been described as, was it the thicker kicker, because the guy isn't built like a kicker. For anyone who doesn't know Harrison Mavis, which I didn't know who he was, Google him and look at a picture of him. That guy's not a kicker, but he is a kicker. And from what I've seen, he played with in the UFL earlier this year for the Stallions, and was 21 and 23. And only his 2 misses were from over 50 yards, so he was consistent within 50 yards. And he's technically second year in the NFL. I think he was with the Jets, but
Jets and the Panthers.
The Jets and the Panthers was it? Yeah, but he obviously didn't make the final roster. But we've also brought him in, along with bringing back veteran long slapper Jake McQuaid, who spent 10 years with us. I think obviously bringing someone like that back in that McVeigh knows and obviously trusts,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think all of this is on Carty. I think some of this, that signing as well kind of made me think, McVeigh's looking across more of the operation than just the kicking. It's not necessarily the snapping, but maybe it's the protection. Maybe, Alex Ward can't protect quite as well. Because unfortunately, you're not just there to snap. You have to also be able to block, and if you're not capable of doing that, then it's you may be the best to get it out, but if you still can't block, it's pointless you being there.
Well, those two blocks against the Eagles came from centre.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Maybe bringing in Maid is again a coach within the squad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's actually
yeah.
speaking to the guys and saying, look, this is what he's been there, seen it, done it. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
So he's actually coming in there as someone inside to actually help to do other things.
Yeah, potentially.
It might just be on that. Do we actually see him coming into the main roster? I'm not quite sure. But
from what I heard from yesterday, apparently he was taking on first team, special team reps yesterday.
Right, okay.
So potentially he could be elevated at the weekend to basically start it, which would, for that to happen, would potentially, I would imagine they'd have to cut Ward to free up the space. You can't have, I don't see the team carrying 2 long snappers somehow or another. That just doesn't make sense to me.
Who is it that holds for us currently? Because I'll be
Ethan
interested.
Evans.
Is it Evans?
Evans, yeah.
See that? See, I thought it was Evans. I'll be interested to see if it's still him at the weekend, because you've got another kicker being brought in, another long snapper. So I'll be interested to see, because obviously, like the missed field goal, the laces were in. It'll be interesting to see, did he change the holder as well? And then that's like your 3 points of like from your kick has been replaced. So I'll be interested to see if there's any change there. I don't think there'll be, but I'm just curious.
Nah, yeah, it'd be interesting to see, but I don't see it myself. I think overall Evans has been. I don't think Evans in his hold and bar that one where the laces, which can happen to anybody if it comes out the wrong way to you. It's just one of them unfortunate things. Each kicker probably gets one of them a year, 2 of them a year.
I don't know if it's just me, and I've been watching the games where it seems to happen or not, and I don't know if it's the quality of the snapper or long snapper or whatever, but it does seem like in the NFL across the board this year that the ball comes out in very different ways than it used to. You see a lot of the ones now where it's going over their head. You see a lot of the ones where it's coming out in a funny angle. Kicks where it's going above the holder's head. I don't know if it's just the quality's not as good as it used to be, but you do see a lot more, and maybe it's just because of the closeness of games, but you do see a lot more emphasis and a lot more replay of actually where it goes wrong.
Yeah, potentially. It might just be what I say, one of them years where it all just seems to be going wrong. Let's be honest, was it a couple of years ago? It seemed to be kickers were missing practically every other kick. Punters were absolutely. I've noticed outside of us, a lot of punting this year seems to have been a little bit wonky as well. There's been a lot more where balls are bouncing out at the 30-yard line rather than, getting pinned in deep, and so. I don't know, has the NFL changed? Because I know they have separate kicking balls. Have the NFL changed how the kicking balls are done this year?
Not
Perhaps
sure.
I don't know.
Don't know.
Because I do know they have a separate ball just for
yeah, they do. Yeah,
each team picks. I think it's 6 balls for the game.
Yep.
So it might be a case, like I say, maybe they've gone a bit.
Yeah, you don't see him chucking a kicking ball into the crowd, do you?
No, definitely not.
You do not.
I wonder if the one who caught that one off Carty, though, ever got it back, because the guy in the stand did catch it. I wonder if they ever managed to get that one back.
It was that wide, it went through the net.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, you could see the guy holding it, in the top stand. You're like, well.
I only discovered recently, see, just saying about like, they picked 6 balls. I only discovered recently, and it was actually following when Adams threw the ball into the crowd at Wembley, that the NFL swap the balls with the fans when they do that, because the 6 balls that they use in the game are all chipped.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that they were chipped. There's all these videos going about now about how every team applies their mud and that, and how they prepare their balls differently. But I never knew about the chip thing. So like, anytime a ball goes in the crowds, like the NFL try to hastily get the ball switched, because
I watched something. Was it before the season started? I think it was Stephen Smith. He's doing like different jobs of the NFL, and one of them was with like the equipment room manager, and they were saying that there's chips and that in the balls. But ironically, they don't use it for things like virtual measurements. I don't know what the chip's in there for, because it doesn't seem to get used for anything.
No.
You'd have thought having a chip in the ball would have been the perfect thing for, judging the, down and distance and everything else.
Because we've changed the technology for measuring the first down markers now, and that's where, like you said, that a chip in the ball gives you the exact positioning of the ball on the field.
But they're still not using the chip; they're just using cameras to judge that.
And they're still getting it wrong. from what I've seen. Some decisions elsewhere in the league. Luckily, not for us. But yeah, I've seen that elsewhere. So yeah, that wraps up about our week 9, and brings us nicely on to week 10, where we travel to meet them again in a return match in the NFC West. How are we feeling about coming up against the Winers this week, guys?
I hate them.
Yeah, it's the week I hate the most.
To quote Aaron Donald, I hate him with passion.
Yeah.
If any long-time listeners to this podcast, just go back and find any episodes where I've been on where we've talked about the Winers, and you'll understand my hatred for them. I'm pretty sure it was a Super Bowl year. I think I went off on a 10-minute rant about them and I actually blacked out. And I said to I think I was on with Tony and yourself, Andy, and I think I said to you after the episode, what did I say? Because I blacked out. I started talking about them, and then the next minute, like when moved on to something else, what did I say? So yeah, I hate them with passion.
Yeah, we all do. It's the two games of the season I hate with a passion. I think
for me,
it was always the Seahawks for me. Was the one that I hated. But this is definitely getting to there where it's that game, isn't it?
Yeah. I said it doesn't help that the week after we've got them as well, haven't we, the Seahawks? So it's an interesting couple of weeks, but it's one of them games, like the last one. You kind of you're hoping you can beat them, and on paper we should beat them.
Yeah,
but it always seems to be Salah and Shanahan always seem to have our number on the opposite sides. Whatever McVay does, Salah knows what he's going to feels like. He knows what he's going to do and counteracts it. And then whoever the defense, obviously this time at the moment it's Shula. Shanahan always seems to be that one step ahead of him at all times. It just seems to be one of them with them all every time, no matter what we do.
Yeah, it just frustrates me that like you saw it in the last game, like the amount of injuries they had when we played them, a few weeks back, and it's like we should be annihilating them then, and it's taking us to overtime and beating us.
It seems to be. It's almost like a psychological hurdle. It's like our kryptonite for the team.
Yeah.
The team goes, "Oh crap, it's them," and just locks up and freezes and doesn't seem to ever perform well. You're just hoping that they can block all the noise out, block everything else out, and just go out there and just, much like we did against the Saints, just do the job, just get it done. Be poetic if Carty was, kicks the game-winning field goal, and 72-yarder to win it all and take the record at the wine. It'd just be perfect,
To take the record 1 week later.
Yeah, and against them in their home stadium as well. It'd just be so perfect.
Maybe
I should put a fiver on that one.
We've got to look at it, gentlemen, is that it is a practice game.
Yeah.
For the Super Bowl.
In
there.
Yeah.
That's how they've got to go into it and think, we want to be back here. So we go and do the job.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I should be the one doing the rallying call.
You should be. Get on your soapbox, mate. Just looking at the injury reports we've got for the week. So we'll start with ourselves. Whittington, back injury, didn't practice yesterday. Nakua, ribs, didn't practice. And Darius Williams, shoulder, but he had light practice. Any worry about Nakua not making?
I think Nakua did, didn't he?
On the report, I've got the report I've got here says did DNP, so it must be wrong then.
I don't know. So I've got did on the one I was looking at, but maybe they've missed the N.
I think Nakua is very much, if he's even 80% fit, he's going to want to play. He's that kind of player where he just, will try and push himself to play it. Whittington, is that well back? I can't remember if he's still out or if he's...
No, he's back. He's not listed here at all.
So Whittington's not so bad. Darius Williams, maybe a chance for McCreary to get in and show us something different. Maybe this is the McCreary week because obviously he never played much. I think he only played special teams last week, so I'm not particularly worried about that. But I do feel Nakua is going to move heaven and earth to be on that pitch come kick off at 9:25 or wherever it is on Sunday. It'll take a lot for him not to want to play that game for revenge, if nothing else.
Looking at their injury report, they've got quite a few names on it, but a lot of them are light practice or full practice. The only did not practice yesterday was McCaffrey, but he was resting. Same with Trent Williams. Ricky Pearsall didn't practice with knee. Michael Williams, knee. That's all the practice.
I thought Michael Williams has been put on IR.
That's what I thought as well, but it's. I mean, I don't know why you'd listen to him practice if he's in IR.
Yeah, I thought he was IR with his ACL for the season.
It's pretty sure as well, but they're still listing him on the report, which I don't know why they do that. But it's not like the last time we came up against him. Mac Jones is down as full practice, but he's got a knee injury that he's nursing as well, and Brock Purdy's down as light practice with toe as well.
There we go. 29 minutes ago, ruled out on IR for the season. Season-ending surgery on his ACL.
Oh well, there you go. Yeah, well, the report I'm looking at is from before then. So yeah, there we go. So
I thought I could have swore I saw something about that. But who's the quarterback? Is it going to be Mac Jones again, or is we going to get the most overrated quarterback in the league, Brock Purdy, playing?
Probably Purdy. He's down. He had light practice with him yesterday. Okay. So I would expect that he's probably going to be fit enough come game time on Sunday. Not that it should make much difference to us anyway, because Mac Jones, you'd thought with Purdy out, like that would give us more of an advantage to go after Jones, but it didn't really make a difference in the end. So I think it's one of those ones, as long as we can grind and keep the yardage on the ground to a minimum.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter, I guess, how long McCaffrey's been in this league. The guy's still as big a threat now as he's been in years. And in games against us, he seems to find those gaps with ease. However, as we said previously, with the linebackers that we've got currently, you would hope that they can step up and shut down.
Yeah. Even with another one I don't think I highlighted before, but Poona Ford coming into the team this year, he's been a massive help as well with slowing the run game down as well. So having him in the middle as well will hopefully help clog and keep McCaffrey quiet. And then allow let them try and make Purdy players through the air. The problem is, as we saw with Mac Jones, is we'll end up with some no-mark wide receiver going off for 150 yards and 3 touchdowns against us, because we always seem to do that against them.
Yeah.
And Mac Jones was the other one I was thinking before, by the way. When we were saying about quarterbacks, is McVay likes him, so could we potentially see him take over from Stafford? He was the other name. I couldn't think of the name earlier, but now once you mentioned his name, I remembered who it was. I know McVay, as I said, does like him. And he's another quarterback who, when your offensive coordinators, Matt Blum and Patricia, I'm not surprised he looked awful at New England.
Mac Jones isn't one that I would have ever thought, actually, in the conversation as a potential McVay quarterback in the future. But I guess you never know down the line. I mean, he's got Jimmy G there, so I mean, like ex-49er players, isn't he? Isn't he out there? Out of conversation for McVay.
Exactly. Yeah. Is he not going to be giving us all the inside info?
You think that, but it doesn't seem to work that way with us. But when guys leave us, they give all the inside info out. No one kind of returns the favour when we bring them in. I've noticed. I've had that for years. That problem. They're too nice when they come to us.
Well, like I say, this is just let's get this week out of the way, and let's just hope it's we walk away Sunday night happy.
Yeah.
So, I take it's the game of the week in the States. It's obviously the one that they've obviously put on in the UK as the main game. It seems like it's the game that obviously is with the 2 decent records between the 2 teams, right?
I know. I think it is one of the Sky games, but I don't know if it's the blackout one or not.
Yeah, we are on. Yes, we are Sky Sports this week. Sky Sports NFL. We are the late game.
Yeah.
That means I'm probably not going to have to watch it. I'll have to find another way of watching it.
Another method of watching it. Yeah, take a betting account. That's what everyone in the Discord seems to be doing these days.
Oh, no,
That's the way
apparently,
that-
according to this, we're still on DAZN as well. Or however you pronounce it. Apparently, yeah, but we're apparently still on
Blackout
there as
rules
well.
confuse me these days because, like, I think because like Sky Sports has now got a Sky Sports Plus and they're showing more games than ever. It's like what's blacked out and what's not blacked out these days.
Yeah, no, so they're selecting more games, but they're still only allowed to black out one game. So
I would have thought it would have been.
Oh,
because we
the
don't really-
blackout game is Arizona and the Seahawks.
and with good cause. Who would want to watch that?
Oh, I know.
I've
I'm
seen
happy about.
Murray went to IR the day.
Yeah. He went to IR, and I'm using quotation marks.
So we play Call of Duty.
Yeah, I think.
That's it. Although
I don't-
I've seen a lot of questions now being asked, like, should they move on from him?
Yeah, I think they're going to move on. I think that's why they've
I
done
think
what
it's
they've
time
done.
for them because I think, like,
Well, I've seen what they can do with somebody like Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah.
And what's his face? Murray wasn't getting it done, and I think as well the fact he couldn't make a connection with Marvin Harrison when Brissett is coming as the backup and basically is peppering him with balls left, right, and centre. Kind of says, yeah, Murray's not your guy, mate. Sorry.
Yeah.
And I think their coaching staff and that in Arizona just have enough of them now, and I'm just like, we want somebody else.
Yeah. That's it. Elsewhere in the league, just while we're talking about our games in the league, elsewhere in the league, the NFL's off to Germany on Sunday. The Falcons and Colts.
Now that will be mega, because I met quite a few of the German guys in London, and they are animals. Yeah, it will be a raucous atmosphere, I think.
Yeah.
The game might not be the best to watch, but it'll be a good atmosphere.
Yeah, at least they'll enjoy themselves regardless.
Mind you, it could be worse. You could have the Spanish game the following week in Spain. Do you know who that is?
Go on.
That?
Washington, Miami.
Oh.
But it is in the Bernabeu.
Yeah. But still, that is just a snooze fest waiting to happen.
That's the kind of game that you'd want in Germany, right? Because you know how the Germans love their beer. Beer sales will be through the roof because there's the only way anyone's going to get through the game. Drink yourself so you don't remember this shit show.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, and it doesn't. I suppose we've obviously all been there and seen the games. It's theoretically in inverted commas for the neutral, not about the game.
Yeah.
It's about the experience. But I think the blockbuster does bring sometimes that if you've got a decent team and a decent game, it brings other people in, doesn't it? But to see it obviously speaking to quite a few of the guys in London who obviously came over from LA, they're not really feeling the game in Melbourne next year.
No wonder.
With it being a 17-hour trip.
Yeah. I think as well, like a few of the people I got to speak to when they told me how they got there. Like they said like the reason that we're here is because it's so easy.
Yeah.
It's just like a hop, skip, and a jump, and we can get to London. I think it was one guy who took 2 or 3 flights, but he said it was easy to do that as opposed to no, it's one 17-hour flight.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, tell you what, at least I can stop over or kind of break up my journey here.
Yeah, because I think a lot of them will do. I know when I had a mate who came from, I think he lives in Arizona, come this way. He sort of went Arizona to Chicago to New York, and then New York across. So it wasn't actually that long a flight in the end, just to quickly cross the Atlantic.
The international games are great, and obviously we've seen the what we see in Wembley at Tottenham. Now, obviously, in Berlin, they've obviously done it in other places in Germany. They've obviously done the Mexico games, Brazil, and the Australia one for me is going to be quite interesting. And I don't know what the base is going to be like in relation fan base because of what time of day do they actually normally watch their NFL. There's a lots of other sports to compete with over there that are of the ball of that shape. They're obviously playing it at the MCG, which is a round cricket pitch and the NFL pitch will obviously be in the middle. I know the Lions rugby played there in the summer, but obviously it's slightly different with that. Obviously, that being one of the national games, it'll be interesting to see how much of the stadium they're going to obviously change. So, yeah, the Rams obviously, that as part of this international project, that was where they got allocated to. It'd be interesting to see how it works. I just hope it gives as much as a benefit to the fans as it does when it's obviously in London.
Yeah, definitely. Just when you're saying about the stadium, like the MCG, yeah, it's just going to be like people feel like they're miles away from the field.
Yeah.
Was it's okay if you get the end zones, but like if you're like sideline, Jesus man, like it is basically a circle, that stadium. It's not an
Correct.
oval. Like, so yeah, it's going to be interesting to see up there, and I think it is. I think they're obviously, I'd say the Rams, they're thinking all East Coast. It's on that side of America to them, so that because you look at it, all our international markets are Australia and Asia, pretty much.
Yeah.
Or Mexico, obviously, and the Mexico one is because obviously we've got quite a large fan base or of kind of that descent, so that makes sense for us. But like, it's we've drawn the short straw, and it's just purely by geography. It says, well, we need people from the Pacific side, so we'll go down with the West Coast. I think if I'm right with my time zones, the Australians probably watch the game. If we're like, I think it'll be 9:30 in the morning. It kicks off, if I'm right, because I'm pretty sure Australia's run about the 12-hour mark from us here in the UK.
Yeah,
so
it is, yeah.
they watch the games in the morning. So, I mean, but I feel for the Americans because don't know how that's going to work with them. Like they complained enough with the London game, having to watch it at 6 in the morning. Like
6:30 in the morning kickoff.
They might get a taste of our medicine of what it's like having to watch primetime games.
Yep.
But it'll be interesting to see what the setup is when they do go to Australia next year. To be honest, I wish it wasn't us because I think it's one of those ones it might be it's a bit of an experiment, but I've never known Australia to be a big NFL country. Like,
no. And I think obviously we had the bye week after the London game, and I think that was just purely coincidental. Like the bye week could have come any other time.
Yeah,
they've got to do the scheduling to actually give us the bye week after that.
Yep,
they've got. I don't see how they can't because of the travel.
Absolutely, yeah, and it's one of those ones as well. Like, I think the team. Like they joked about their 35 hours or 36 hours, whatever it was in London. It's easy for them to jump in and out. Now we based ourselves in Baltimore for the week, done all our practice there. It was a flight in, play the game, flight out. Australia's going to be a different, boat altogether. Because depending on when, Australia can get quite hot as well, and depending on what time of the season that they play.
Well, that's it. If they're going now, it's just it's sort
hitting their summer months. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's for LA, it probably won't be too dissimilar. Yeah. But obviously, so far they've got a slightly air-conditioned part to it, but weather-wise, it's probably not going to be too dissimilar.
Currently it's 18 degrees at 9 in the morning in Melbourne, as I speak. And it gets up to about 25. Nice. So yeah, it's probably round about what they're used to.
It's LA weather then, isn't it?
LA, yeah. But it might be quite wet.
Going back to your thing as well, yeah. Apparently the NFL is very popular in America. Not in America.
Really, in America? What's it?
In Australia.
America? Wow.
Apparently it is very popular in Australia and New Zealand.
Interesting.
Apparently it's one of it's the fastest growing sport in Australia.
There has been quite a few players from New Zealand over the years, hasn't there? And that sort of.
Yeah. Well, you look at it now. What's his face for the Eagles? Mailata's Australian.
So he is. Hi.
So there's been quite a few kickers and punters and that who were Australia, New Zealand as well. So
it's always funny how you make these kind of comments, and then someone comes and goes like, actually.
Yeah,
and I say that from the point of it's like all these guys just fly under the radar that you don't actually realise they're there.
Yeah.
So, anyways, it'll be interesting with that. Score predictions then for Sunday, guys. Andy.
24-21 to us.
Oh my God.
What do you think?
17. No, I'm joking. I'm going 17-10.
I'm going to go 24-23.
Wow,
To us,
okay.
obviously. It's going to be. It's always tight against them. So
Yeah, that's why I've gone for the field goal difference, and
Carty kick the winning points.
Yeah.
Oh
as
my
time
God.
expires.
When? No.
Last thing I wanted to talk
Now,
about.
That's going to be about half 12
no.
at night for us as well. I don't think I can cope with that.
Now, McVeigh's going to throw a spanner in the works. He's going to get Jimmy G to kick the winning field goal. Stick 2 fingers up at the Niners.
No, it'd be even better if Jimmy G's taking the knee at the end.
Oh, that'd be.
Oh yes, absolutely.
That would be better.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Last thing I wanted to talk about, guys, is the power rankings. With us kind of flying under the radar, and people like talk about like Stafford with potential MVPs. I had a wee look to see. I normally don't bother with these, right? But one of the ones popped up in X the other day, citing us as first and us. So I had a wee look. NFL.com ranks us as second this week, coming up from 7th. ESPN 5th. Yahoo Sports have got us 9th. Bleacher Report, which is one I saw, it's got us its first. Sports Illustrated 4th. CBS 4th, giving us about an average of ranking about 4th. Highest being first, lowest 9th. Compared to them, they're ranked 12th by NFL, 14 by ESPN and Yahoo and Bleacher, 11 by Sports Illustrated, and 15th by CBS Sports. In terms of our rankings, guys, would you actually put us as a top 5 team? And try to be honest.
How we're playing at the moment, yes.
Yeah, I think I probably agree.
I would put us as a top 5 team.
Cemented by a win on Sunday, obviously.
Yeah, obviously. That's it. It's the number one. But I do feel at the moment we are playing like a top 5 team. So I think that is fair at the moment. My worry with these power rankings is that they get to players' heads, and then we tend to not play as well. I'm just kind of hoping the team at the moment is just ignoring all this outside noise and just focusing on doing the job.
I'm not really a big fan of them, if I'm truthfully honest.
Mm.
Because it shows there's an opinion.
Yep.
In one way or another. Yes, they might be using statistics and whatever else, but there's some of them are so different. And which ones do you actually want to believe, and which ones do you actually trust? Do I trust the one that comes from MFL.com? Not sure.
Yeah.
Do I trust Yahoo? Again, not sure. CBS Sports is probably one that I would because at least they're a broadcaster of the sport. Yep. I don't know. It's in the world that we live. Clickbait is a wonderful thing, and if you put out that we're number 1, you're probably going to get a lot more clicks than if someone says that we're number 7.
Yeah, absolutely, because it generates the conversation and people going, well, how can the Rams be number 1?
Yeah.
What about this team? What about that team?
Yeah,
we're better than them. They're not as good as us, and that's
you're always going to get it
from the fan base.
Eagle fans, well, we beat them, and the Winers fans, well, we beat them.
Yeah, just like I don't know if you've seen. I put it in Discord earlier on today. The tweet put out there and I mentioned them at the start of the show. I mentioned them here at the end. The Colts going on about best running back in football, best wide receiver, tight end duo, best O line, best this, best that. One that got me, elite franchise quarterback. That's Daniel Jones, folks. We're talking about here, the man who tackled himself when he played for the Giants. And going, oh yeah, we're here to break the Chiefs dynasty. Chiefs don't have a dynasty, first and foremost, right?
No.
My wife didn't hear me say that because she'll kill me. But
everyone, quick text John's missus now.
I've met the lovely lady. She's fine. Leave her alone.
She's all right. She's all right for a Chiefs fan. That's what I was getting told and that day. But that tweet's been put there, and I took the bait, but I took the bait thinking this is absolutely laughable to try and suggest as if you're having a great year. Yeah, you're doing good, but you're not as good as you think you are. And it's like you said, Chris. It's the clickbaits to get people talking and whatnot.
It's very clever journalism.
That is.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see if anybody starts that with us. After another couple of wins.
It's very much like you say. It's clickbait, and it's a case of trying to get those conversations going as well. You know, are the Colts the best team in reality? They have some good pieces. Don't get me wrong. I do personally think myself, Jonathan Taylor is probably top 3 running back in the league. Yeah, their O-line's not bad, but outside of Sauce Gardner, they've traded for Sauce Gardner. You know, but their defense isn't anything special. Their pass rush is next to impossibly useless.
Well, that's
Yeah.
it. Like that tweet in particular was going on about all the offense, and it said about best cornerback in the league, and I'm like, you've just traded for the guy. He's not played a single down for you yet.
Yeah, and he's not been
What about the
anything
rest of your
special for the past
Yeah.
year or
But
so.
what about the rest of your defense? Just like you said there, Andy. Why you
Yeah.
not talk? Where's if you were that good?
Yeah.
Defenses win championships just as much as offenses wins championships.
Well,
So,
yeah, exactly. You know, it's ridiculous, but you know, people are going to do that, unfortunately, and it's just a case of just ignore all the noise. You know, that's what we have to do.
well, that's it, and there'll be plenty of noise come Sunday, when the clock reaches 0 and the Rams beat them. But
Fingers crossed.
yeah, fingers crossed, guys. So yeah, let's wrap up now, guys. So if you have enjoyed listening to us, if you're watching us on YouTube, if you're listening to us as well, go on our YouTube and watch the episode, because you'll normally you see our faces, but technical issues have prevented that night. But on screen right now, there's a QR code. Scan it if you want to listen to the previous episodes of the podcast, and also if you want to get involved in chatting with us on Facebook, QR code's on the screen for our Facebook page, LA Rams UK. Also on screen now is the Instagram on as well. Chris takes the two with that. He's good with Instagram. If you want to hear me rambling away on X about LA Rams UK, scan the QR code there and you'll get our Twitter account. If you want to talk to us in general day to day, join us for game day chats, show off your merch or whatever, or get betting tips from other Rams fans, scan the QR code and join our Discord server, which is growing as each day passes. So, gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me this evening. It's been great to get the band back together and get talking about the Rams again.
Yeah, definitely has been good to be back, and hopefully we won't have a 6-month gap like last time before the next episode.
Oh, we will not. We will be back next week. I promise you.
Back as much as I can. Appreciate it. Really enjoy coming back, guys.
Yeah,
It's been
definitely.
great to have you guys back and hopefully chat with you next week. So we'll see you all next week, folks, for episode 116 of the LA Rams UK podcast. I've been John, they've been Andy and Chris, and we'll catch you guys later. Say bye, guys.
Bye.